Hello, troopers, and welcome back to G.A.R Productions. Today, we're going to be going over the forgotten figures from Star Wars TV shows and video games. I'm excited about this. Obviously, next week, or not obviously, I guess, but next week we're going to probably finish this list with forgotten figures from the Disney era Star Wars movies. But before we get into it, if you are new to the channel and like it, or maybe watch the video later, but give a like when you do, if you do enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new here, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the video. So first off, I do want to have kind of an honorable mention. I kind of feel bad, but I don't know. But the honorable mention is all the figures from Resistance. I didn't want to spend that could be its whole list of itself, but pretty much every figure from that is forgotten except for maybe like Captain Von Reg and like a few other figures. But other than that, they're kind of forgotten about. So yeah, honorable mention, just all of them. Now, going into some video games, first off, we have some Battlefront-based minifigures. We have the Desert Rebel Troopers, pretty much all of them. I feel like they're forgotten more than other Rebel Troopers. They came out kind of like in between, like the new Hoth Troopers, newer Endor Troopers. You had Rogue One, so I feel like they kind of get forgotten about, and they're really, really good. They're some of my favorite Rebel Troopers that LEGO has done, so I think they kind of get forgotten about and should be talked about more. Next, I think another one that is not quite as forgotten about as the Rebels Trooper or the Rebel Troopers, but it's the Battle Damage Stormtrooper. I think when people think of the 2014 era Stormtrooper, they think like him or the Sand Trooper. They kind of forget these really cool Battle Damage Stormtroopers, and also the Battle Pack also came with the Imperial Shock Trooper, which is an amazing figure and definitely steals the show, and I think steals people's minds about this set. So don't want to forget about those guys. And then lastly, from Battlefront, we have just Inferno Squad in general. Kind of forgotten that they got their own battle pack. Would have been cool to maybe get something different with them in it, like a few other options, but nonetheless, Inferno Squad, again, kind of really cool figures, honestly, but kind of forgotten about a little bit. And then the next video game is going to be The Force Unleashed. We have Captain Juno Eclipse. I think Battle Damage, Darth Vader, and Galen Merrick are very, very popular and well remembered from the video game, but I think you kind of forget that you also got Juno in the Rogue Shadow, so there's that figure. And then also, like, a decade later, they did a Shadow Troopers and Shadow Guards battle pack, and in both of those figures, especially the Shadow Guard, I think is a little bit forgotten, and he was from the original Force Unleashed video game. I think he's kind of forgotten about, and a very cool one. Next up, we have TV shows. Now, I only have about the same amount of figures for all the TV shows, just because I think a lot of the figures from the TV shows are pretty well remembered. So first off, we have two from Rebels. I have Commander Sato. I think he's a very cool character, excuse me, but I think he's kind of forgotten about. That Rebel Combat Frigate, obviously the show gets stolen by the Rebels Ahsoka in that set, so I think he kind of gets forgotten about. He's a very cool figure. So Commander Sato. And then for the Imperial side, I have just Imperial officers from Rebels, the tan Imperial officers. I think they're kind of really cool and forgotten about. I think other obvious gray or normal Imperial officers are more remembered, but these guys are pretty cool. But I think a lot of the other Imperial and Rebel figures are well remembered, so I don't think they're really forgotten about. Next up, we have a few from The Mandalorian. First off, we have Cara Dune, and I think she kind of gets forgotten about because of the controversy, whatever side of your opinion is about that. But behind, I think it's Gina Carano is her name. I know her first name's Gina, but it's kind of a lot of controversy around her, and she got booted from The Mandalorian, and then her own show got booted as well. So I think she kind of got forgotten. There was like a big hype around her, but I think now she's kind of forgotten about a little bit, coming in like the Light Cruiser and the AT-ST Raider. And then also, I think kind of forgotten about, even though they're pretty cool, but since they only showed up once and we haven't seen them again, Dark Troopers, very cool figure, but again, I think a figure that kind of gets forgotten that was made a few years ago. And then lastly, ones that I think not necessarily forgotten, but sometimes get overlooked because of the other figures in the set, and the overall set is amazing, is going to be like the two New Republic officers or pilots. I can't remember their names. From the Ghost. Very cool figures, but kind of get a little bit forgotten. Those would be from the Ahsoka show. And yes, if you're wondering, I did already do the Clone Wars with the prequel movies, so if you want to check that out, I'll have that in the end screen if you want to check that out. Let me know if you agree with this list on forgotten figures, if you think I forgot some certain figures, or if you think some of these are more well-known and shouldn't have been on this list. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I look forward to catching you next week with the Disney-era Star Wars movies, and I'm sure it'll be fun. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.